Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do another really cool review. This has to be one of the most coveted modern Rolexes of the present day. This is the 116710 BLNR, or as most people would attribute it, the Batman. So this is the current generation GMT Master 2. The BLNR specifically has the black and the blue ceramic bezel, which looks awesome. And these things are popular for a reason. This thing is really cool, and I'm so excited to be able to share it with you guys today. So back over visiting my friends at Bernard's Watch, and this website is full of all sorts of things that watch guys and gals would drool over. So every time I check their website, if I see something cool, I beg them to let me come over and play with it. So I saw this come up on Bernard Watch's site, and I showed up immediately after to go play with it. So as some of you guys may know if you watch the channel, I actually own a 16710, the pre-ceramic version of this watch, and I have to say this is a very nice upgrade over my generation. So let's go get started. Immediately we'll go and talk about the dimensions. Now this is a 40mm case, which is the same size actually as a 16710 pre-ceramic that came before it. Although I have to say it definitely shows much bigger presence on the wrist, which is nice because you get a lot more presence, but it doesn't give you a lot more bulk. And I think the reason it has that bigger presence is you can see it has kind of the maxi dial with the much larger luminous markers, and it also has just I think a nicer call out on the bezel itself with a 22-hour bezel. Being this is ceramic and the markers have that engraved feel to them, it just pops so much more than the old ceramics or pre-ceramic GMTs do. I mean, this watch has a lot of presence. And one thing that I really like too about the newer generation is you have this nice two-tone bracelet. So they have the high polished center links and the brushed outer links. And in comparison to a traditional older style Rolex when they just had the solid stainless all brushed look, I think you guys could agree that the new bracelet just has that much more of a pop to it. I really like that they're doing this now. Of course, it's going to pick up fingerprints like none other, but very cool. So those of you that are unfamiliar with the GMT is a facsimile for Greenwich Mean Time, and the reason that's important is the GMT actually lets you keep track of multiple time zones. So if you guys aren't familiar with the GMT in particular, or you haven't seen my reviews, I'll post a link here to go check out a review on my GMT Master. But in short, this watch has a long, beautiful heritage. You can actually trace back GMT Masters back to Pan Am Airlines, which if you're an airplane aficionados, you will know well. They actually had what they used to call the Pepsi bezels, and you can take a look at one of those online. They were red and blue for Pan Am. And the reason this watch was so coveted by airlines back then is, you know, when you're a pilot and you're traveling multiple time zones, there needed to be a convenient way to keep track of multiple time zones. And the GMT Master is built to do that. I wear mine all the time as a travel watch, and I have to say it is perfect for that. So you have a 24-hour bezel, which is bi-directional, so you can advance an hour or decrement an hour time zone. So you have multiple ways of keeping track of time, and I'll kind of go through them with you briefly here. You have this beautiful blue colored hand over here. That's your GMT hand, and that's for your second time zone. So you can track this second time zone hand with the 24-hour bezel. So right now it's pointing between 1900 and 2000, roughly 7:30ish nighttime, based on whatever time zone you were tracking. And so you could advance or retard the bezel, and now you can see you can go back and forth an hour. So this GMT hand, you can track 24-hour time. It's awesome. You can set it once and then you can advance it forward or backwards depending on transitioning time zones. Or the other thing that's great about this uses a 3186 movement, which is a newer version of the 3185 movement that I have in both my GMT Master and actually the watch I wore today, which is my old Explorer 2. So the 3186 comes equipped with the Parachrome hairspring, and one of the nice features about these movements is you can advance or retard the hour hand itself also independently. So a lot of people, when they see these things, they're always surprised that there's no quick set date. And as you can see, the quick set date is actually part of the advanced hour hand. So not only can you advance time zones with the bezel for the GMT hand, you can also go forward and backward on the hour hand itself. And as you can see, the second hand's still running and the minute hand is still where you left it, so it actually makes it super simple to change time zones quickly. You can set the time to your home time perfectly, and then all you really need to do is unscrew the crown and flick it back and forth however many hours you're traveling. So let's just say I'm in New York now and I want to travel to LA. That's 3 time zones behind me, so 1, 2, 3. there you go. I've just reset it. And again, I can always advance it back forward when I'd like to. So right there, I quickly change time. And also, if you're keeping track again of that second time zone with the GMT hand, all you need to do is rotate the bezel and you can advance that too. It's super simple to use. It's super convenient. And as watch complications go, I have to say this is probably the most useful function of any watch complication I can think of. You're probably not going to have a lot of reason to have a chronograph or let alone like a regatta timer, but I think most people, especially if you're like me and you travel a lot, you'll definitely be using a GMT complication. It's extremely useful. So since I've already got the crown unscrewed, let's talk about this 3186 movement. So as I mentioned, it's an improvement upon the old 3185 that's again on my old Explorer and my GMT Master past it, or before it. And this comes equipped with a Parachrome hairspring, which is anti-magnetic. But the other thing about these movements in general, like all Rolexes, they're 28,800 beats. So you have that, you know, beautiful, smooth sweep hand that everybody kind of comes to associate with Rolex. Apart from the oyster quartz, that is, of course. So that's always a given. When you unscrew the crown, it is screwed down. You'll see there's a gasket here, which is really nice. So if I can get the crown. This actually uses the Rolex Trip Lock crown. So you're getting very good water tightness. Given that this isn't a diving watch, that's actually pretty good. I think Rolex rates these at about 100 meters or so, but you know, being it's an oyster case with this good seal, they've definitely built in some extra resistance. That said, you know, dive at your own risk. But you unscrew the crown. First position is winding like you would expect on most Rolexes, and it winds at the precision you would expect. Second position is the feature I was showing you, which is how you can advance the time zones, and as you can see, I can also quick set the date this way. And then third position, you'll see that's actually when the second hand stops, and now you can actually completely set the hands. So we can go ahead and set it to 10:10, which is the common one. But as you're setting these watches up, and I won't get into it too much here, you kind of want to set the GMT hand first. So let's just say, I don't know, let's say it's, you know, 2 a.m. in my time zone, just about, let's say it's 1:50. So the GMT hand, let's go ahead and go one more. GMT hand is just before 2, and it's at 50 after, so it's 1:50. We'll go ahead and let the watch run. Now ideally I'd let the second hand stop at noon or 12 to get it perfect, and then I would go ahead and adjust just the hour hand to my actual time zone. So let's say where I'm at, you know, it's 8 o'clock. And we want to do it morning time, so we'll let it pass over 12 once. The date's just changed at midnight. Let's say it's 8 a.m. where I'm at. It's that easy. That's how you'd set it, and then when you're done, of course, for water tightness, screw the crown back down. So this is a newer style bezel, as I was saying. This is ceramic. As an owner of pre-ceramic, and if you guys have seen the review or ever looked at them, this is such a massive upgrade. These things just, they pop, and especially in these Batman B&R colors, they're just, this watch has a lot of presence, and this bezel looks exceptional. You know, and it turns with the precision you would expect of a watch that costs this much. Current retail on these, I believe, is just below $9,000 or so, in case you're curious, but of course, depending on when you watch that, this may change. It has the traditional coin edge style to the bezel, which is very easy to grip. And as I was showing you, it has this nice polished and brushed bracelet here. These links are actually solid too, which newer Rolexes have, and they're screwed out as well, which is nice. If you compare that to an older Rolex like my Explorer 2 I have here, the links were actually hollow. So if you've had an older Rolex or you've held one, and you hold one of these newer ones, there's so much more heft or you know, and weight to these things in a good way. They feel that much more solid. They're very fluid, as you would expect. And of course, they have these really nice screw-out links. Now, the clasp itself is a massive upgrade to over old ones. You have the nice little Rolex logo. And as you'll see, there's actually like a rocker arm here that will pull up, so you can pop it open. Beautiful little Rolex Geneva Swiss made in here. This thing is very, very nicely finished, very fluid, and the machining on this whole thing is very well done, and there's that mechanism that allows it to operate. You can, of course, make adjustments in here, as well as on the bracelet. It's very easy to size. Now, as this is, you know, a Rolex, as with 99% of them, there is no see-through case back. The 3186 movement, I think, is pretty enough to warrant one, but it's definitely not a Geneva seal looking movement. But I like the utilitarian look, and I would love to see Rolex put a see-through case back on these, but, you know, so far they haven't decided to do that. But overall, guys, extremely functional, nice watch. And like I was saying, these newer ceramic bezels, I think, really kind of make the watch pop. So, you know, my Explorer 2 on the other side of it, these watches are both the same size, but you look at, you know, my Explorer 2 has just a standard bezel, and you look at this ceramic one on the left that pops in with a maxi dial. I just think it has that much more presence for the same size watch. So these things are definitely popular with good reason, and you know, the finishing on this watch is perfect. All the transitions are buttery smooth. You have solid end links as you would expect. Just a really, really nicely done watch, and actually the sides as well are high polish. So polished, brushed, and polished. There's some nice, you know, transitions, high brush, back to polish. So it's very much a traditional Rolex, but with some fun with the blue, and you know, with the current bracelets and the ceramic, these watches are just very well made. So we'll go ahead and go to a quick little wrist shot here. Put it on my wrist, which is just under 7 inches. Snaps in with authority, and there you go, guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful watch, and I'm sure at some point I'll be a lucky owner of one. So just got to find a reason to justify it. But anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this review. Go ahead and check out bernardwatch.com. This watch is currently in stock and for sale, but of course they have a ton of other watches. So if you like this and you've liked some of the other videos I've done with them, give them a look. With all that said, guys, let's go ahead and we'll jump back. And we're back. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always. I really hope you enjoyed the review. That Batman is freaking awesome, and I'm gonna have to buy one of these at some point. I have a little bit of envy, and I like my GMT Coke Master 2 Coke, but ceramic is such a nice upgrade. The bracelet is so much nicer than mine, and black and blue, man, it's kind of where it's at. So as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, please browse the channel. I get a lot of questions that I've already answered on videos, so hopefully you'll find content that's helpful for you. Also, somewhere in my head there'll be a way to subscribe to me, so please check that out so we catch each other on the next video. Also, if you're new, as always, I leave the comment section open. You guys are welcome to have free reign in there. You can say whatever you want, hurtful, productive, or otherwise. I try to read as many and respond to as many comments as I can. Thank you guys so much. Thank you again to Bernard Watch for letting me back over, letting me play with your inventory. I'm going to keep taking advantage of it, so thank you guys so, so much. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Wherever you are, I wish you all the best, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care, guys.